Previously, on Fifth Avenue's Courageous Conversations, we asked questions about our individual experiences around race and racism. This time, we take time to process some of our church's history, as our archivist has discovered that many of our founding members, including founding pastor Reverend John Romeyn, were indeed slaveholders. This is Fifth Avenue's Courageous Conversations.
I'm Alex. I use she, her pronouns, and I was born and raised in New York City going to Fifth Avenue Presbyterian Church. I think I first felt disappointed, but not surprised, and I feel like that's just something that I've been feeling a lot lately as we continue to uncover truths about our history, especially as a white person. I feel disappointed that that was the reality, but not surprised because so much of our history and culture is steeped in white supremacy. As someone who has grown up in this church, I do see this as part of my history. I am struck by how I never thought about it until now, because I always saw myself in our pastors as a white person. But because this is part of my history, I have to take accountability for the ways that I have been privileged in this church that was founded for people like me. And it makes me want to continue to investigate how that has benefited me and how I may have perpetuated that harm by not taking accountability or recognizing my privilege or centering someone who has less of a voice. I think it's important to tell this part of the story now so that we can take accountability for the foundation of the church and move forward by acknowledging that harm and making reparations by centering the voices of the people who have been historically silenced in our church. I think it's about not seeing her as just an enslaved person. Now that we know that information, not taking it to reduce her to that identity, but seeing her as also a founding member of this congregation. I don't know what else she did, if she had a family, her other identities besides just being an enslaved person, and also continuing to investigate the other enslaved people. I know there was another one besides Betsy Jackson that we can't even name. So I would be interested in finding out more information about that rather than focusing on he had this many slaves. Like, who were those slaves? What were their stories? And how did they play a role in the founding of this congregation? I think it's doing this type of work of uncovering our history and taking accountability for that. I think it's amplifying the stories of those most marginalized in the same way that Jesus did. I think as a follower of Jesus, I see it as my mission to center those who have least privilege, because that's what Jesus did. So as a follower of him, it's my calling to participate in anti-racism, because that is something that I believe Jesus would have done, because it's dismantling systems of oppression and lifting those up who have been beaten down time and time again. So I hope our congregation will continue to do that.